It's gonna be alright, Preston. Let's do this. I've had multiple varying opinions on many different episodes. They ranged from good, to bad, to meh, to this is the best episode of the entire show. What do a good majority of those episodes have in common? Branch learning and growing, having to learn lessons from Poppy. To be quite honest, I wasn't quite a big fan of these, as it was Branch learning a majority of the good morals on the show, while Poppy pretty much remained the voice of reason guiding him. We have yet to reach the episode in which Poppy learns a moral and everything is turned on her. For now, though, let's talk about the second puzzle piece you guys will need to figure it all out. How Poppy is able to have the characters grow in a special way. Today, we're doing the bunker list. This episode got so much negativity and mixed reviews. Why is that? What was in this episode that so many people didn't feel good about? Are those complaints justified, or are people taking it a bit too seriously? Well, I'm here to do my job, so let's find out. It starts out with Branch talking to Gary about how to organize his rations.
By taste? Someone's feeling playful.
I have absolutely no comment. Poppy knocks on his door and forcibly takes him to a show that Biggie is performing. Apparently it's a poetry slam and bearing your soul in verse. Okay then. Poppy reveals that she did this to cross something off his bunker list. Roll credits! We then get a cutaway as to where the idea came from. Dangling off a cliff, Poppy and Branch are holding on for dear life, when Branch admits that he lived under a rock, and that if they live, he'll make a list and do them all. She smiles, and it's beautiful. And then this happens.
Oh.
That is how you do a funny sight gag. Poppy admits that it was inspiring, and Branch ends up saying that having more fun and connecting with the troll community is the goal, but that the soul bearing is a bit too touchy-feely too soon. Honestly, I love that they went in the direction they did. Normally stories like this always pull off the whole character uses the whole I said that in the heat of the moment and I didn't actually want to do this excuse, for where the characters don't necessarily do the actions they claim they were going to do. Here though, Branch legitimately wanted to do what he said because he wants to get better and gain new memories and special friendships. Nice save beat goes on. Anyway, Branch says he wants to work up to it, and I completely understand. Most of the time, people seriously want to get better and try different things, but they don't want to do them all immediately or be forced into a scenario by their parents or friends to do or try something. I myself relate to Branch in this scenario, as I have had moments where I do indeed want to get better as a person and try new foods and things, but I wanted to be in a comfort zone before I did so. Then, let's get this out of the way, Guy and Smidge start complaining.
Here we go again. Everyone's tried to help you do items on that list, Branch, but you never follow through.
We're all for you being a better troll, but it's pretty clear that you don't actually intend to do it.
They essentially use the argument of the cliche that I just pointed out minutes ago. However, going back to the episode and hearing those lines made me think that it made sense to have doubts that someone would actually follow through with this kind of commitment. Everyone clearly wants to help Branch get better, and they support him, but they doubt he'll ever commit to it, which is a legit concern people may have in regards to wanting to see a person grow and get better. Guy and Smidge's reasons for, let's put it nicely and say, starting the conflict of the episode are good reasons that I can admire and not complain about. However, that can only go so far as the two then act like this a few seconds later.
A year.
Don't hurt yourself rushing.
Okay, a month.
Where's the
please.
fire?
Fine, one day.
Look, I said their reasons for doing this are good, but their actual execution of how they want to get it done is terrible. Pressuring someone to do an entire book, I remind you, in one day? That's awful. This is where Smidge and Guy's likability drops. It's beyond stupid to rush someone through getting better, even if it is for good intentions. Why? Because 1, they may not be in the comfort zone to do so, 2, it'll feel more like a dare rather than actual commitment and change. And 3, rushing leaves absolutely nothing to gain from an experience, a lesson that Branch will learn in the episode.
Care to make a little wager?
Branch, no, do the list at your own pace.
First, Smidge and Guy, stop becoming more unlikable and daring Branch to have some stakes put on him. If the episode had Branch go through absolutely no punishment for not doing the list in one day, then the audience would feel much better. The stakes are already high with the fact that they're making a deal to do this in one day. Second, it's time for everybody's favorite game, Is Poppy in Character? Yes, moving on. Seriously though, she's not being a total ass like in Prank Day or Trolley Tales. She's being caring and understanding about Branch taking the list at his own pace, a perfect thing for any advisor or mentor to do when teaching their prodigies. She's level-headed for the episode and is standing up for what's right. She's in character. The deal is that Branch has to do everything in the list by sunset, or he gets dressed like a baby. If Branch does it, then Guy and Smidge get dressed like babies. This deal is quite unfair when you realize that 1, the list is basically a book. 2, some activities may take longer than others. For example, if I was to tell you, you have to watch an anime in one day, you'd immediately be like, which one? Because some animes are only 52 episodes long, and others are hundreds of episodes long. And 3, when would they start the activity? If I was watching, say, Soul Eater, which is 52 episodes, starting at 8 in the morning, maybe I could do it. But if I started watching it at 2 p.m., then no, I wouldn't be able to finish it in one day, especially since the anime would be a half hour each episode. However, the deal is justified. Why? Guy and Smidge made the deal to raise the stakes. Branch made the deal one day to show up Guy and Smidge. People are going to get attached to bets like these specifically to avoid embarrassment of any kind. I told Speed Force Spectre this. Guy and Smidge accept the being babies if Branch succeeds option because they feel like Branch is obviously going to fail. The stakes are there to emphasize that it's an impossible feat to do. To do it right is impossible. We'll get to why I said that in a bit. They also request pictures, which I think is fair. They want evidence that he did it. It makes sense. Then Branch does the bearing his soul activity, like the flicker of a light switch. By the fact that you don't feel anything when he does this, as well as the fact that he doesn't feel anything when he does this, clues you into how this is going to turn out. This is the lesson Branch has to learn. By doing these activities, he's allowing the audience to know his story and who he is. The other trolls would be allowing themselves to open up to him, while he opens up to them. By doing that, he's gaining new friends and gains respect from the community, indicating a new positive light he can make himself and the village happy. He gets some emotional memories to have with him. He can gain good experiences on top of bad ones. He can live the life that he was meant to live, one that's filled with excitement, intrigue, happiness, love, and positivity, rather than one filled with sorrow, disinterest, depression, hate, fear, and loneliness. When he runs through all the activities like a road runner, he doesn't get anything out of it. Like the focus is primarily on winning the bet rather than actually growing and getting better and making memories. That's the problem with rushing that I and all of you should have.
Isn't this against the spirit of the list?
Thank you! Branch decides to head to a lake to catch a glitter fish. Okay then. I mean, we did find out that glitter substitutes for water in Trollstopia, so what the hell? While he's trying to catch the fish, Smidge and Guy heckle Branch for things not going according to plan. This is beyond what we saw earlier. This is the bottom of the barrel. This is being cocky. However, it makes sense, as Captain Price from Modern Warfare 3 states,
"Overconfidence makes you careless."
They think that they're going to win, so they're going to brag and give Branch a hard time. After tricking the farmer in an honestly plausible way, he catches a huge glitterfish. Then he goes through a lot of activities quickly, like reading a romance novel cover to cover, learning a new musical instrument, turn a frown upside down, serenade a friend, trust a stranger with a deep secret, catch a butterfly, wash Cooper, etc. I will admit the serenade a friend, trust a stranger with a deep secret, and the romance novel reading shortcuts are hilarious. However, the turn a frown upside down, catch a butterfly, and trust a stranger with a deep secret shortcuts are lazy. Those don't require that much effort. Catching a butterfly is simple. Turn a frown upside down would not be hard. Just give someone something to make them smile. Hang out with them. Tell a funny joke. The trust a stranger with a deep secret can also be done easily. Tell Poppy. Also, throughout every picture after he finishes the book, it's the same sadistic looking grin. Seriously though, this goes right back to the whole they're not getting anything out of rushing, and it's all about winning the bet rather than actually growing and feeling something bit. This is one of the biggest clue-ins of that. Anyway, everyone meets back up and Branch admits that he has everything done except for one more thing. Shouldn't have been cocky and overconfident, huh guys? I am impressed though that this whole episode can make you feel a mix of emotions. It can make you feel catharsis for Branch winning and these two getting their just desserts, but also feel like this is wrong in every way. Good job, episode. Branch goes to see the twins, Biggie, DJ, and Cooper. Wait, Cooper? Yet he watched him earlier? Odd. He goes through multiple shortcuts that I will admit are stupid and hilarious at the same time. Then everyone else thinks he's pranking them and does a "if you want it, you're gonna have to come get it" bit with the camera. It's pretty enjoyable, at least until this moment.
Everybody, stop goofing around!
Preston? Are you okay?
It's just that moment. What the hell can anyone say about that? I mean, look at their faces. They're all afraid and downright terrified. Cooper is in the exact reaction someone would have if someone yelled at them like that. Sadden and Chenille's faces, though, are the most depressing thing to look at.
Come on, Preston. I know the moment was a bit depressing, but you've seen a lot of depressing, messed up stuff before in Trolls, and you made it through just fine.
Yes, because they were moments that weren't played up as cringy for the sake of something bad happening. They were moments that were either A, played up for laughs, B, weren't played up as seriously as this, and C, you didn't see how terrified and heartbroken everyone else looked in this one shot.
I mean, why is this affecting you so much?
Because it reminds me of how we're all feeling right now, myself included. We're all feeling scared, heartbroken, miserable, and lacking any motivation to do anything that we were originally excited to give people in the past. Abandoning projects that we painstakingly worked through, needing advice from people more than ever, feeling like there is no end to the misery or that there is no light at the end of a dark tunnel. All the stuff going on with the world, feeling like people hate me. It's all so much for me that I feel like I can't do this.
Of course you can do this. You've been through a lot. You're the strongest person I know.
I just feel like I'm fighting this battle alone. As I haven't seen my cousins, aunts, and uncles in a long time, I feel like I'm losing all the things that made me happy in the past. Friends like Emmy, Ethan, Dakota, and a few others because they're either working or I was a hard ass that I feel like they hate me. Not having a graduation party, stagnant in subscribers, and never really getting off the ground. I just want to be the adult and YouTuber that I'm destined to be. And yet, I'm not there because I feel like I'm not normal or I'm not special.
Trust me, no one is normal. And you believe it or not, that's exactly why each person is unique and special. So are you. There are some times in our lives where we think nothing is going to be okay. Like we're never going to smile again. It can be hard, but you got this. And your friends will be there to support you no matter what. Am I right, party people? Yeah!
You know, you guys are right. But how am I supposed to take this scene?
You could take it as...
You're right. Thank you all so much for your help. I don't take this scene that personally like I would have a long time ago. Don't get me wrong, this moment is awful and heartbreaking. But this is literally what everything has been building up to. How the deal is affecting him in a negative way, where he's making people miserable in order to beat out 2 other people. I wonder how those 2 people would react to the fact that their idea for the deal caused Branch to make Biggie, DJ, the twins, and Cooper feel terrified and miserable. He takes the picture and beats out Guy and Smidge. Again, a moment where you feel 2 different emotions at the same time. Catharsis for giving these 2 their just desserts, and feeling like this is all wrong at the same time. As Branch cheers, he obviously makes a shot at Poppy, which is supposed to hammer in that it's really mean. And Poppy's angry. This time, I actually agree with Poppy being angry. Most of the time, it's witchcraft whenever Poppy is angry at Branch or anyone else, because it's for reasons that don't seem justified in getting angry about. Here, though, it's literally the perfect reason to be angry.
I, kinda seriously blew it, didn't I?
Kinda. But it's never too late to be a better troll.
Hey, she's not acting smug about this. She's being caring and the kindest she can be in a situation like this. She's in character. We cut to nighttime and Poppy makes the announcement that Branch has something to say. The apology stage of the episode. Also, why do Guy and Smidge have those faces? Poppy's doing this for humility and peace, but what about those 2? Do they care that this is growth? My answer is yes. I'm sure they do. Everyone will act like that when someone is about to go into a situation like this in a really awkward scenario. I'm just glad that Poppy doesn't have those faces. Branch comes out, apologizes, and everyone starts laughing. But is it the mean kind of laughing, or the good kind of laughing? It's clearly being portrayed as the good kind of laughing, at least with the Snack Pack members that are having the slumber party and Poppy. Guy and Smidge find it humorous, and they're pointing and laughing because comedy in one way or another is based on misery. Sometimes misery loves company. Branch ends up making the best out of it, and the hilarious part to me is thinking about how Skylar Aston reacted to the lines he had to say with the baby dance, and his reaction to the animation. Our final shot shows us that Poppy herself also has a list. I want to know all the contents of that book. And that was Bunker List. While it isn't perfect, it's still a good episode. Does it have mean-spirited humor? No, I've seen mean-spirited humor in Trolley Tales, Prank Day, and other episodes we'll get to. Does it go overboard in terms of how things were played up? No, I think the effect they were going for was done masterfully. Anyway, the comedy is great in many areas, the emotion is great, Poppy was great, and it served a special purpose for Branch's character development. I know it had its moments that seemed a little sad, reminding me of my own problems, but it's never to a point where it seems too mean-spirited like Creek Week, Prank Day, or even Trolley Tales. The story structure was good, and I couldn't find any logical problems in the episode. Not a glowing review, but I can give it the credit it deserves for what it does good. Anyway, this episode was meant to show you guys that Poppy's teachings and Branch's development through these teachings. You have your second piece. Next, we move on to the most controversial episode I will ever cover with this series. An episode that gave the most unfortunate implications. An episode that supposedly gave Poppy a bad name. An episode that will be my first, most serious review of the entire series. After all, the island provides.